I'm Haley Taylor, and you're listening to the Rough Draft Diaries. For some reason, musicians are not often nominated to be on the Rough Draft Diaries, and I'm not exactly sure why, but every once in a while someone does nominate a local performer, and that was the case with our last connections. They came from Ken Leslie from One Matters. He nominated Candice Coleman. She's a local singer and musician.
My mama done told me when I was in pigtails, my mama done told me
That's Candice performing at the Real Seafood Company. It's a restaurant in downtown Toledo on the docks. She performs there every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And every Monday and Tuesday, she's at Chow in Sylvania. Candice is also a realtor with Danbury Realtors. But for this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries, we'll focus on her singing career, one that began when she was very young.
I've always loved music. My dad is really into music, and he pretty much made me listen to like Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and all the old good stuff. And then my mom had the influence of I was listening to Andrew Lloyd Webber at the same time, you know. So I also went to a preschool a Christian preschool. We did, you know, churchy type stuff too, Christmas and all that. And then got into the Repertoire Theater in Toledo. Also, the Toledo Opera Children's Chorus at that time. We did productions like for Babes in Toyland and stuff like that.
Because of this diverse musical background, Candice has an interesting style that's influenced by the tastes of her parents. This also influences the sets of music she creates with her musical partner, Chris Brown.
My style is rather eclectic. I do jazz and blues and rock and musical stuff, Broadway, everything really. And we've done this for so long that we don't really create a set. We sort of just try to read the audience and gauge, you know, like what we think they would like, and then we just sort of go from there. And sometimes, you know, people come up and ask for things, and we do it that way too, but mostly it's just reading your audience and figuring out what you think their particular genre will be.
Candice had to figure out where she fit in her own musical genre pretty quickly, because at the age of 22, she had passed an audition to compete in a fairly new TV show. It was only in its second season, a show called American Idol.
That was a whirlwind. My friends kind of dragged me. I really had no idea what I was even auditioning for, which you got to remember at that time it was season 2. And season 1, I don't think had quite picked up as much steam. It's like 75,000 people, I believe, in the Detroit area. I made it through. That was 3 auditions, and then there were 4 more in Glendale, California. You know, you get your golden ticket, and then you wait with bated breath to find out when you're going to go back to be on the show. And so that was stressful. You know, you just go on the show and meet everybody and do your best and, you know, keep your fingers crossed, say your prayers, and it was fun. I mean, it was really an experience that not too many people have had, and it's just... it was interesting.
Candice made it as one of the top 24 contestants, but unfortunately was eliminated during the second round of the televised portion of the competition. That's a lot to go through when you're just 22 years old, and you're in Los Angeles, far away from the city where you were born and raised, Toledo, Ohio. Looking back on the competition now, Candice admits the process might have been a little overwhelming.
And it was sort of difficult just because you get thrown into something and it's crazy for the minute, and then it dies down, and it's like, okay, and you're left with your head spinning like, all right, what just happened? Significant changes would include, I think as a human being, as a person, I've grown quite a bit since that time, as we all do. You know, in the early 20s, you think you have everything figured out, but you really don't. And I think that I was a little closed-minded to some things that now I'm very open-minded to, country music being one of them. I really enjoy it now, and I didn't then. So yeah, I think that a lot has changed, and that has allowed me a lot of opportunity as far as, you know, like I said, Chris and I play at these places, and we have a lot of regulars, and we get to know a lot of people that you just love these people. They're just great people, and they come up and, oh, we want you to do this song. Well, maybe back then I wouldn't have because I was stubborn. And now I'm like, all right, well, let's give it a shot. And then it ends up just being fun, you know? So it's pretty cool.
Although Candice's time on American Idol happened over 13 years ago, she finds she is still often asked about her experience on the show. This doesn't seem to bother her too much. Instead, she sees it as an opportunity to share her perspective on fame and what you lose in pursuing it.
It's sort of a mixed bag. I mean, obviously, things would have probably been different had the results been different. But I'm one of those people that believes that everything happens for a reason. I mean, I 100% know that in my heart to be true. I would have never met my husband. I would have never had my second child. I don't have a problem talking about it. It was a learning experience. It really was. And I think this is much more comfortable because you can write your own rules and you can do your own thing. And it's fun. And you don't have to be under pressure. You just relax and you can just live your life and you can sing your songs. And really, it's living the dream because you get to sing, you get to perform, you get to do everything that you love. But it's no pressure. It's just relaxed. It's nice.
That is nice. That sounds nice. I'm Haley Taylor, and thanks for listening to this episode of the Rough Draft Diaries.